Welcome to Girl Talk. We are yucking it up already here at the Great Dane downtown. Thanks so much for joining us. And thank you for joining me. I'm so glad to be here with you. What a great space.
You know, we should tell them, before the camera's rolling, somebody says something silly, and we all burst out laughing. And meanwhile, our camera person's going 3, 2, 1, and we're like,
Straight face, straight
A
face.
little moment behind
Every
the scenes
time.
of Girl Talk. I'd like to say welcome back to Jessa.
Yes.
Leah, welcome back.
Thank
We
you.
missed you, but are so happy to have you back.
I appreciate
You're
it.
amazing.
I
And
love
it's lovely
being
to
back.
be here with you.
It's great to be back. I forget that I'm a productive member of society, but here I am, out in the community again. You get a little bit holed up being at home, but it's so wonderful too. It's just great. But
catching
You were
you
very-
up. This is mom of baby number 2.
Yes.
The highlight of your
Productive mama.
2016?
Yeah, well, of course, having a baby is absolutely the highlight of my 2016. And if I can have a second, seeing my first daughter become a sister
Aw.
is
That's
really
so
fabulous.
true.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then if I can have a third, is that okay? Seeing my husband is so great with our girls and watching him. You don't know when you get married. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a gushing, sappy moment.
That's okay.
But you don't know when you get married
Yeah.
if your husband's going to be a good dad. You hope so, right? You see qualities in somebody, but when you have kids, to get to find that out and see your spouse in a different role is really, really special. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yep, absolutely. It is nice. And yeah, you said you hope for it, and I think something significantly probably, you know, in your gut tells you when you choose that person that hopefully that's the case, but you don't know for sure, and it's something else comes out in them. It's quite lovely.
Yeah.
You guys are giving me goosebumps.
I know.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So
Get the tissues ready for Girl Talk today. How about you guys? Favorite 2016 moments? Anything stick?
Well, I feel like yours trumps mine now because that was so touching.
Well-
but mine would be adopting my cat. Because
Oh,
previously
yay!
I lived alone.
New
and
family members for both
Yeah,
of you.
and I
exactly.
rescued him, and you know, when you adopt an animal, it's my first time I've ever adopted, and you're kind of
Congratulations.
well, you're
It's a
nervous,
huge
you know,
thing,
and
yeah.
you don't know how it's going to be, and he is such like a stinker, but I love him so
he's
much.
put you through the tests, I
He
think.
has.
Yes, he has.
But I love him for it. We're stronger together.
so
makes you a better person now.
It does. What are you guys looking forward to in 2017?
Well, I also adopted a second dog, so I have that in common with you. We both have pets, dogs at home. No cats. I love cats, but her name
love
is
dogs
Mabel,
too,
and
but I
she's
can't.
lovely. So I have that to look forward to. And my little old dog has a younger sister now, and he's taken to it quite well. So I have that, and I really look forward to spring. 'Cause it's really cold out right now.
Oh gosh,
and
don't we all?
learning some new stuff about gardening because I'm finding I really enjoy it. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to our guests.
You cannot get out of it that easy.
Nope, we've got to go to a commercial break, but when we come back, if you've got a wedding on the calendar, we're going to meet with some folks talking about wedding planning this spring. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are at the Great Dane today, and we'll be chatting with them a little bit later on in the show. But first, we have Dana and Michelle, and they are with the Wedding Planner and Guide. So happy you guys could be here. Thanks for
having us.
letting us give some tickets away to your upcoming
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Super
You're
exciting
welcome.
stuff. And I just kind of want to know more about everything that the Wedding Planner and Guide does, because you guys do so much.
Yeah, well, what we started out with actually back in
gosh.
the day, about 35 years ago, was the Wedding Planner Guide publication.
Sure.
And today it's grown to be almost 400 pages.
I was going to say, this is pretty thick.
Yeah, so brides, it takes them through all the steps of planning the wedding. And since then, we've added bridal shows, website, blog, social media platforms.
gosh.
So helping the brides plan their wedding.
What a transition.
And that's such a, I feel like you have the best jobs ever. I mean,
know,
how much
right?
fun do you have with doing that? And I want to stop for a minute because we were gushing over the 1983 guide. Hats were in style and all kinds of different, it's just fun to see the hair and everything that's changed. So let's touch on trends a little bit
Yeah.
and talk to us about upcoming.
Yeah, so one of the biggest trends that we're seeing right now, actually just based off of Pantone's 2017 color of the year is greenery. So So all
I
things
love that.
greenery, from seeded eucalyptus to olive branches, and it's not just in the bouquets, but we're also seeing it being incorporated, throughout the entire space, like the arbors, arches, down the aisles, down, the center of the tables, just everywhere in general. And then as far as fashion, we're just seeing a lot of more slim-fitting dresses, a lot of beaded appliques, kind of sheer illusion along the neckline, a lot about the backs. So those are some of the biggest trends that we're seeing.
That's fun to see because in the past, there's been years where the bigger the better, right?
Right,
The
yeah.
big poofy
Right.
dresses, but
Yes.
they're getting a little bit more sleek, and I
Yes.
think that's kind of romantic and
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And it's actually so interesting because you do still see some brides, that want the traditional ball gown, but the color of the dresses is actually going away from the traditional white to more champagne colors, more ivories, beiges. So it's just really interesting to see how the trends
I
change.
love that idea too of just
Yeah.
not the stark classic white.
Right.
And then there's a little bit of variety too that just enhances how many options you have when there's colors involved.
Yes.
Right. And speaking of options, you guys have an event coming up where people can check out all sorts of different vendors and all the categories you need. Tell me about that Winter Bridal Expo.
We do. Our bridal show is coming up January 14th and 15th at the
Awesome.
Alliant Energy Center. We have over 200 vendors. Wow. So people can meet with them and see different ideas there. We have wedding-scapes that show different designs, coordinating the different components of a reception.
Oh.
And we have a prize package over $12,000 that we're giving away. So
Well, that
there'll
wouldn't
be
be bad.
tons of stuff going on at the bridal show, so you can plan your wedding in one weekend.
That's incredible. This is like the Super Bowl for brides.
Yeah.
Right? The best of the best, all in one location.
Well, we actually have 3 bridal shows, so they do call this one the Bridal Event of the Year because it is the biggest one that we have. So
A lot of
That's
people
really
getting
incredible.
engaged over the holidays.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
perfect timing.
absolutely.
And what's the best way to go about getting tickets for this?
you can get tickets online in advance. You save a little bit of money that way. They're $7 in advance. Otherwise, they're $10 at the door.
That's it, 7 or 10.
Awesome.
No big deal. I
Awesome.
like it.
And I know you guys touched on some of the different things that we'll be able to find there as far as inspiration goes and different ideas. You mentioned the wedding-scapes, which I think is really interesting. That's what you called it, right?
Wedding-scapes.
Wedding-scapes. There's going to be venues, correct? They're going to have booths.
Yeah. Do you want to go into?
So, so the wedding-scapes, those are put together by various different vendors, event designers in the area. So brides can really come and get a really great feel, inspiration for kind of things that are trending overall with tables and chairs. But then you can also get to really meet in person, all of the different vendors from photographers, DJs. We're going to have a lot of samples, confections, cake, everything.
Samples?
Yeah, samples. I
You
know.
had Ellen at samples.
You had me there.
Yeah.
It's going to be everything you need. Again, let's remind folks when those dates are.
It's January 14th and 15th.
Awesome.
And we also have 2 bridal fashion shows each day. So the latest trends in bridal fashions, you'll find bridal dresses, bridesmaids, mothers.
And if you buy a ticket, you get to go both days?
You can get a wristband to
Yes.
return on Sunday.
I love it. Again, this is Dana and Michelle. Thanks for being with us
Thanks
today.
for
Thank
having
you.
us.
We appreciate it. Be sure to check out their event coming up, and we'll be back with more Girl Talk right after this.
And welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today at the Great Dane downtown. This is the East Doty location. Did you guys know this is the original Great Dane brew
I
pub?
did.
I believe it. They started here and expanded out, right?
Yeah, several locations. We'll meet with those folks a little bit later. But right now, it's the new year, and if one of your resolutions is to have a calmer, clearer mind, listen up to our next guest. We're talking flotation therapy, and with us we have Maria Welch, the owner of the Float Factor. Thanks for joining us today, Maria.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about the benefits of flotation therapy right away here.
Well, one of the biggest benefits that we see is really reduced stress and anxiety. People are so bombarded with sensory inputs and negative messages, and floating really provides a dedicated space for stillness, quiet, and really reconnecting with ourselves. And I think people are just hungry for that and for kind of just getting that inner peace back that they've lost.
Who can't use some of that?
Right? It sounds wonderful.
It really does.
It almost kind of, it sort of forces you to have some quiet time, but it's relaxing and good for the body as well. So talk a little bit about, I'm sure all folks are thinking that sounds great. What can they expect when they come in?
Well, when you come in for your first appointment, we'll give you a tour of the space, kind of show you how everything works. We really focus on answering any questions that you might have. Floating is a little weird for people, you know, it's like, what am I getting myself into? So we want to make sure that you're relaxed and comfortable, that, you know, if you have questions before or after your float, we're there to answer those. We take you back to a private suite, so you have your own shower, you have all the stuff you need, your towels and shampoo, you don't have to bring anything with. The session itself is about an hour long. And then afterwards, we have a nice prep room where you can blow dry, and we have hair products, and then you can relax in our lounge for as long as you like. Have some tea.
Yes.
So we encourage people
We gotta
to
go.
just
That's right now.
So
after the show.
I know for me personally, I'm a little bit claustrophobic. For instance, elevators, I hate elevators. I avoid them at all costs. I have this fear that I'm gonna get stuck and that the walls are gonna close in on me. So am I gonna freak out if I come try this?
Well, this is one of probably the most common concerns that
Yeah.
people have when they see pictures of the float pods, but they've never seen one in person.
Yeah.
Most people, when they come in and actually see the pod, they go, wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought. They're really quite roomy, and you do have the option to keep the lid partly or completely open on the pod.
That's nice.
You know, a lot of football teams have these, so you can fit a very large person in them. We also have a float room, which if you would like an even more spacious environment, that has an 8-foot ceiling. It's got a big door on the front. So if you're closer to 7 feet tall, that might also be a good option.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll fit.
Yeah, I think I'll fit. Yeah, some
Lots of
different
room.
options though when you're starting. It sounds like that if you are a
Exactly.
little worried, you know, keep the top open. Then maybe as you get more comfortable, you can close the top.
Right.
It's a new concept for people, so I think sometimes the adaptation of it might take a little while, but probably after your first one, you feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And this isn't
exactly.
a lot of water either, isn't it? Just how many inches is it usually?
It's only about this much water. It's
Yeah.
about 11 inches, and there's about 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt dissolved in there. So that's what keeps you buoyant in there.
So you can't sink.
You
It's
cannot sink.
impossible.
No, and that was for me. I mean, I do not float at all. And when I first floated, I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually float.
can do it.
What an incredible
You
feeling.
and people fall asleep. I mean, it's kind of like it just cradles you in there. It's very unique and very different. Yeah.
Interesting.
So now that everyone's interested, how often are you recommending that people do this to get benefits?
It's really individual. We have members who float once or twice a week. We have others that float once or twice a month. We find that people who have a lot of issues with chronic pain or stress and anxiety will float more often because they're getting the wellness and health benefits from it. But we also have a lot of regular people who float who are doing it more for the spiritual benefits, and they're doing meditation while they're floating. It's a great place to expand any meditation practice that you have going. So
Yeah, that's what just kind of
Yeah.
came to mind. If you meditate, what a great space to do that.
yes, absolutely.
Something
Boy,
new to try.
we're out of time already, Maria. And there's so many more things we wanted to run by you. So thank you, though, for coming in today. This is Maria Welch. She's with the Float Factor, and they're on Junction Road, and we're at the Great Dane. We'll be right back. You're watching Girl Talk.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We have been having ourselves a fabulous time downtown Madison. Today we're here at the Great Dane, and I think I speak for Ellen and Janet, and of course myself when I say it's time for our favorite topic, food, right?
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yes, hands down.
So we're here with Dario Tesmer, and thank you so much for having us here in your place. We
Absolutely,
loved it.
welcome.
So we're going to chat a little bit about, you guys have a great menu, first of all, and a very expansive menu. Are you guys thinking about switching things up a little bit? Do you ever have any new items?
We do. We actually switch our menu up twice a year. And it's not always necessarily seasonal, but we kind of go by what people have liked in the past sometimes. And some of the newer trends and ideas that are coming up. Our executive chef, Matt, he's on point with a lot of things that we do. So it's always exciting when a new menu rolls out. Employees are always excited to see what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
We were joking a little bit about Wednesday wing night. Talk to us about that.
It's something that we started over the summer, and it kind of coincided with music up on the square. And so with all the foot traffic that comes through, we thought we'd try a couple of new things. I mean, our menu already offers a ton of great sauces on the wings, but it gives some of our back of the house guys a chance to kind of prove what they have, and they've come up with some really, really fun ideas. A lot of different flavors, and it's a great deal. I mean, 2 beers, 12 wings, $15. It's, I mean,
wow, that
it's-
is a great deal.
That's a pretty, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's been
So 6 wings
working
per
out.
beer, right?
Sure. Yeah, you
I'm
could do it.
doing
Yeah, there
the
you go.
math.
Doing the math.
It's settled.
Divide it out.
And now your winter menu is in full swing right now as well. What are some of the dishes that people can expect to see?
We tried a new Nashville hot chicken. We brought in a vegetarian dish, our Harvest Bowl, which has been really, really popular. We try to even it out between what we do vegetarian-wise. Also, gluten-free is also another big thing. And we're always pushing some of our different burgers.
Yeah.
And we have one out that's amazing. It's our All-American burger, which you guys will probably get to try in a little bit. But we're always looking into, burgers have always been a kind of a big thing, so
Yeah.
we try to make sure that we, between our Texarkana burger, which I think you guys will probably try, we're always trying different things in that realm of the menu.
Yeah.
But also keeping salads and things that are lighter. I mean, right now, this time of year, it's
Right.
A burger sounds better than a salad this time of year, gotta say.
it does, but it's good for everybody to be able to
Right.
mix it up on our menu.
And
the
that's
cool
what's
thing.
so great is that you guys have so many options. If you come with a group of people and you do have somebody who's maybe a vegetarian or somebody who's looking for gluten-free and maybe I want a burger, you know,
Sure.
that you can have a wide variety
Ellen
of
has
options.
revealed to us in previous episodes that she's a red meat fan, so we know
I am.
where you lie on
I'm
the
getting
menu.
that burger every time.
That's right. So let's talk about one of my favorites. I love artichoke dip. I will order it anywhere. And you
so
guys have
good.
an amazing artichoke dip, but is it back? What's going
It's
on?
back, and it's switched up just a little bit. It's actually, well, I think it's really good. And it's something that,
No
that I'm not
bias here,
supposed
right?
to. Well, I'm not. I try not to go back and look at it and tell people like, hey, this is really, this isn't necessarily the healthiest dish on the planet, but it's delicious. We switched it up. We added spinach to it. We added new vegetables to it, and it was.
That's healthy.
It was a menu item that folks were a little disappointed that we lost. So we listened to all of our emails, and when folks come in, they're kind of upset that it's not there. So we brought it back, and it will be there to stay.
Back
So,
by popular demand.
Yes.
And
I
you
love
know what?
it.
There are plenty of redeeming qualities in that artichoke dip that I want to say it's healthy.
Yes, everything in moderation, right? Split it with a
True.
group of pals and you're
Enjoy it.
good
you
to
know,
go.
It's good stuff.
You're gonna justify that dip any way you need to.
You betcha. You know I will.
So speaking of bringing back dishes and changing menus, it sounds great, but then there are folks that are gonna be like, but what about my favorite? Does that mean they're gone forever?
No, they're not. They're not necessarily gone forever. And a lot of times we can almost recreate the dish. I mean, we will have people who will come in and look at our huge menu and say, I kind of just want this. And our kitchen's awesome about modifying things or looking around for different materials in the kitchen to give our guests exactly what they want. So even if it's not necessarily on the menu, we have been known to figure out a way to make it for us. So.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
That's something great to know, because sometimes I feel kind of like, is it okay to swap this,
It is. It is. It's not as big a deal as
Right.
you might think it is. So
right.
we can accommodate.
Now you guys have a new kids menu as well. So what's unique about this kids menu compared to other places that have those kids menus?
Well, the staff that we used for the kids menu, we actually had kids come in and
No
sit
way.
down, and so we had a panel.
That's
Oh, I
really
love
smart though,
that
but I've never
idea.
thought to do that, but that's
Kids-
And
smart.
so each of the kids they could comment on exactly why they liked it, and it was interesting to see to get their feedback. So we tried several different dishes, and we put together a kids menu that I think is really, really good. And I
Kid approved.
It is kid approved. So
Oh my gosh,
that kinda
that's-
helps.
That's awesome.
And I'm just curious, what was a favorite?
Let's see. So the new pasta dish for the kids is really, really good. And also we did like a little mini pot pie.
Oh,
Because it also incorporates, all the vegetables that, that the parents kind of want to sneak in that sometimes kids don't want. And two of the kids really raved about it. So we were like, okay, we'll try this
I
out.
find that fascinating that kids liked that, because as a parent, I mean, that sounds perfect. You kind of have a little bit of every food group, and you can hide the vegetables in the pie. It's pie, kids.
Yeah, that's pie.
And all the kids who have tried it, who maybe would have never thought to get it, they've all liked it. So
What a fun thing.
Yeah.
So mom and dad approved too.
Yeah.
Stamp of approval.
Trying to cover all the bases.
And Janet was telling us in a previous segment, this is actually the original location.
This is
So-
22 years and counting.
Incredible.
So yeah, it's there's a reason why we've been here.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just come here only for the beer, but then once they sit down, I have just as many guests come back for the food as they do for the beer. So.
It's so nice to have that combination of a really great place to go and have a drink, and it's such a fabulous atmosphere, but you're going to come back for the food too. I love that.
Yeah, you can't always have crushed beers during the day, so you're gonna have to eat lunch, and sometimes you don't want to at night. So yes, we get a lot of people that just come back only for the food.
And especially here in the downtown place, I mean, places really come and go a lot down here. So 22 years really does speak to.
Yeah, I mean, the trends change all the time, but we've definitely been able to kind of stick to our guns and make everything, even though it might seem somewhat basic for some of the items, they're actually really, really delicious. And we also make sure that we are employing people to make a lot of this stuff. We don't get it just off a truck. So it's kind of nice that we have a lot of people.
Well, Dario, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for
We're
having
at the Great Dane downtown, literally kid-tested, mother-approved. So now you can actually put that stamp of approval. Thank you so much to all of our guests for joining us today. Thank you for watching. Join us next time on Girl Talk.